am going to introduce to you your first student speaker. And it has been my... I got to teach this young man as a sophomore. And believe it or not, he had a crazier haircut than he does now. Until I shaved his head. That has been one of the high points of the past 4 years. And then Mr. Sharamonti came up and he fixed the sideburns and, you know, took good care of Jonah. I don't think he's had a haircut since. 4 years have gone, no, 3 years have gone by. He is your class president. He is someone I know you will never forget. And he is going to come to the stage now and really fill your minds with the wonder that is Jonah.
Thank you, dude.
It's like weird out, buddy.
I gotta get my speech out. I don't even know if I brought it in. Yep, here it is. Ready? Okay. When I was a freshman, I was a real freak. I had long, poofy hair, dressed like a buffoon, got into trouble with my friends, and liked to play loud, obnoxious music in the car on the way to get my braces tightened. And now, well, I don't have braces. So, when I was a freshman, I kind of fell into becoming a band geek. I was already a geek, so all I really needed to do was get the band part down. I had played drum set before, but I wanted to join the marching band. And boy, would I find out the difference between flicking your wrists around from the sanctity of a comfy chair and full-on sprinting in heavy rain and thick mud from end zone to end zone in 2 counts with a heavy wooden circle strapped to your chest. Yes, I was put on bass drum in the marching band that year, and my back will never let me forget it. The funny thing about bass drum is that you are really only part of the total instrument. In the marching band, there's an entire line of bass drums, all tuned to different pitches, working as a symbiotic machine to play complicated licks and grooves for the rest of the band to jam over. It was a responsibility like none I had ever had. Add on the fact that I knew hardly anything about reading music, marching in time, watching a drum measure, or especially being cool, and it's easy to see why it seemed overwhelming at first. But no matter how much I tried to compensate for my lack of skill with my futile attempts to be cool, my focus was always to nail the band part of my newly discovered band geek persona. And what better way to gain insight and advice, as well as some serious cool points, than by befriending the seniors. They were the cream of the crop. Some of the best musicians Liberty High School has ever seen graduated that year, and if I could just hang out with them, maybe some of their awesomeness would rub off on me or something. That year, there was only one senior in the drum line, and he was the only senior I've ever met to this day that actually succeeded in fitting an entire freshman, poofy hair, tightened braces and all, into a locker at Liberty. Needless to say, I sought out some of the other seniors for their advice instead. Next to the drum line, the coolest part of the marching band is easily low brass. And let me tell you, the seniors in the low brass section were awesome that year. They were exactly what I wanted to be. Their cool was effortless and infectious. It was hard not to laugh at their jokes even when I wasn't part of them, and just being around them somehow made me feel cool. Either way, lunch break was the best chance I had at gaining access to their friend circle and becoming the coolest freshman of all time. The problem was that they could all drive, and while I was stuck spooning out every molecule of pudding from my snack pack, they were top down in a fully loaded Jeep on the way to eat, drink, and be merry. If only I had some opportunity to show them that I'd be a valued member of their crew. I originally wrote posse and crossed it out earlier today. Soon enough, that opportunity was presented to me on a silver platter. On what seemed to be the nicest day of the entire year, the marching band was completely owning it. We had all just about finished learning our music to that year's show, and things were finally starting to piece together. I was starting to become confident with the bass drum, and I learned how to open lockers from the inside. Things were looking up. To make matters even better, we were let out to lunch 15 minutes early that day. Just when I thought the day couldn't get any better, the low brass section pulls up in a Jeep, and one of the tuba players says, "You want to hit up Arby's with us, dude? There's an extra seat." So without any hesitation and with a large appetite, I hopped in. But my coolness was not official yet. I still had to prove to them that I could fit in. When we got there, it didn't take long to realize that my hunger was greatly outmatched. Between the 3 seniors, they had ordered nearly the entire menu, while I chose a single junior value meal. The difference in orders was really noticeable when I had finished my entire meal and thrown away the trash before their food was even ready. I was now forced to awkwardly sit and wait for these human garbage disposals to wolf down their countless sandwiches and fries. You see, I tried talking at first, but all I got in return was mouth-filled mumbles. I had blown my chance. Now I just seemed like a jaw-jabbering idiot. When it was time to go back to marching band, I felt defeated. The one opportunity I thought I had to befriend the seniors was spent talking to ears that weren't listening. As we whipped around the corner, soon to be late in our return back to marching band, the driver yelled out a series of profanities and red and blue lights flashed behind us. He was driving almost as fast as he had just been eating a couple minutes beforehand, and the cop pulled us over on London Town Boulevard before the entrance to Home Depot. Now, before I get to the good part, Bill Cosby does this routine where he talks about being a drummer and how he kept his blue-tipped sticks in his back pocket so everyone knew he was cool and ready to go at a moment's notice. As I get to the good part of this story, keep in mind that that was me. Bill Cosby with the blue-tipped sticks. The officer came up to the window with a sweaty brow and a stern look. License and registration. Not even a please. As he walked back to his car, we all joked back and forth about how this guy was clearly not having a good day, and it looked like our day was taking a turn for the worst as well. When he came back to the window, I stifled my nervous laughter. Where are you coming from? The tuba player in the driver's seat mumbled something like, Arby's, sir. And where are you going? Well, marching band, sir. We're in the marching band. Without hesitation, the cop said, I think I could have figured that one out on my own. Now we were really in for it. I thought to myself, he probably thinks we're a bunch of punks. He rips a piece of paper off a notepad and holds it to his side. What instrument do you play? Well, I rock it on the tuba, sir. I knew that this was only making matters worse. I hate the tuba. It just sounds like a bunch of farts to me. Now, any mature, respectable adult would have brushed this comment off, taken the ticket, and drove away. However, I was not and am still not that adult and could not have possibly stopped myself from laughing at the word farts. The really embarrassing part is that I made a feeble attempt to hold back my laugh. The resulting noise was something between a snorting pig and an old snoring man. I couldn't imitate it if I tried, and I probably wouldn't want to, so use your imagination. The officer stepped back a couple feet and gave me a stink eye so bad that every skunk within a couple of miles fainted. And you, he said, pointing a finger right at me. Let me guess, you're a percussionist. So not only is he the most terrifying man I've ever met, but he's also a psychic. Great. Yes, sir, I play the bass drum. He flashes a toothy smile. Bass drum? He lifts the ticket in front of his chest and rips it in half. I used to play bass drum back at Liberty, way back in the day. You guys should get going before you're late. Well, now it was official. I was the coolest kid in all of history. Also, one more thing, he says. Heck yeah, bass drum. We went back to marching band and I was the talk of the seniors for the rest of the week. Life was good. So I think back on how high school has been for me. I entered Liberty thinking I needed to prove myself, trying to act cool for the people I looked up to. Ultimately, I needed to wait for the right opportunity to just be myself and things would work out favorably. I think this is a lesson we can all learn from. No matter where you go or what you do from here on out, just be yourself. It's hard to make friends, but it's easy to keep them. Think about it. When I was a freshman, I had long, poofy hair, dressed like a buffoon, got into trouble with my friends, and liked to play loud, obnoxious music in the car on the way to get my braces tightened. Now look at me.